Welcome to the Tough Decisions Network for Entrepreneurs. I'm Dan Hanford, and my wife, Danae, and I interview successful people sharing stories behind tough decisions that they've had to make along their journey as an entrepreneur.
With us on the podcast today is Alan Burak. He is the head of Never Alone Capital, and his current focus is expanding his performance coaching business and optimizing the other businesses that he owns. So thank you, Alan, for being with us, and we're looking forward to talking with you today.
Hello, guys. Thanks for this amazing opportunity.
I want you to dive in a little bit more about where your current focus is right now as an entrepreneur. I know you were starting to dive into your story a little bit when we were in the green room, but start to talk to the listeners a little bit about where your current focus is.
Yes, definitely. Thank you guys for this amazing opportunity. And well, right now, my current focus as an entrepreneur is to have my own personal brand. I am starting this business because I realized that the thing that I love the most is to understand why people do what they do and teach them how to get what they really want by giving them the key steps to get whatever they want in life. And at the same time, have peak energy and absolutely fulfillment in every area of their life. So I started a coaching mentor business like a few months ago, where I teach people how to increase their energy state. And by doing that, people after a few days automatically starts having peak performances in their areas. They can feel it, see it, and making their goals happen.
That's really exciting. You know, in the green room, you had mentioned being an entrepreneur, since you were 13 and kind of growing and continuing to expand yourself. I want you to, as an entrepreneur, think back to a tough decision that you have had to make that did not have that good of an outcome. You're glad you went through it because you learned lots of lessons and it helped you grow as an entrepreneur, and you wouldn't go back and change things, but you want to share one of those tough decisions that you had to make that didn't have that good of an outcome.
Definitely. Thank you. That is a good question. I always say that decisions create your destiny. We're all the time deciding, right? So deciding at what time to wake up, what clothes to put on, what to eat, what to do in your day, etc. So we have to become good at making the best decision. And if it was not good, it's just an experience to become better. Never see it as a failure. So going back to the question, one top decision as an entrepreneur was to be against most of the people, circle of influence that surround me. At the time, I consider myself a real entrepreneur. Most were basically telling me that I will never make it. Why am I taking so big risks that make no sense? In few words, most did not believe in me. And it was tough to realize how lonely the road can be without any kind of support. But also, guys, it was my biggest blessing because it made me raise my standards. What does that mean? It means that you want to become a world-class human being. It means that you want to be more and do more. I saw that most do not raise their standards because they are in their comfort zone. And to raise your standards, you must get out and get uncomfortable. If not, you will be doing the same thing over and over, and you will basically not grow. So I really thank all the people that did not believe in me because they make me travel the road with less competition, more uncomfortable, but less competition. But there is much less people in the road, and more that you grow yourself, your circle becomes smaller and smaller because less people is in your new standards. That is why you have to choose very careful your circle of influence. You should choose people that brings the best of you, that inspires you, that makes your standards skyrocket, not people that brings you down or makes you feel less than what you are.
Alan, can you give us a few maybe specific examples of what you mean by raising your standards? Maybe for someone in the audience who's thinking along the same lines, but maybe is wondering where to start or how to start. What kinds of things did you do to, in your words, raise your standard for yourself?
Yes, that's a very, very good question. Raising your standards doesn't mean to get new clothes or new material things. Or most people think that raising your standards is just getting more. Okay, basically, raising your standards is for you to your own self. Basically, asking for more to your own self. Like you have to make a decision of telling your own self, I will never ever suffer again. Okay, I will give you my own experience. Okay, when I was totally broke, I told myself, never again. I will never again go back in this road. And when I made that decision, automatically I raised my standards because new ideas come to your mind, new beliefs come to your mind, new values come to your mind. And by doing that, automatically you're changing the road of your life.
So let's shift here a little bit and talk about a tough decision that you've had to make as an entrepreneur that had a really good and positive outcome and some of the lessons you learned through that one.
Yes, definitely. A tough decision that had a really good outcome as an entrepreneur was when I was literally with no money, but I decided that no matter what, I should stick to what I love because you only have one life. So I decided to believe in myself, hustle, and create massive hunger to become successful in what I love. So basically what I did is kind of the same of raising your standards. I create a higher purpose, which at that moment was the following. Every day, I told myself that my family, my society, and the world really need me because they really needed an outstanding money manager. And to give outstanding services, first I had to become a magnificent investor and trader. There were days, guys, that I could not sleep because I was thinking of how much the people really need me. It needed me, it needed my advice and money to open charities, expand knowledge, and give financial certainty to people that did not have it. That was my drive.
So talk a little bit about what strategies and techniques you use to approach these difficult decisions that every entrepreneur faces on a regular basis.
Yeah, basically, the number one thing that I learned, I have been in self-development seminars, events, reading so many books and I can tell you that the number one thing that helps me the most today is meditating. Okay, so every time that I'm facing a tough decision, I always close my eyes and meditate and do breathing exercises for between 5 to 10 minutes. Then I start visualizing the outcomes of every possible decision. And then I remind myself about my values, my goals, and my purpose. And then I made the decision. My belief is the worst thing you can do, in my opinion, is not taking any decision because at the end, it will just be in your mind and will accumulate with other thoughts and will drain energy from you. Well, don't get me wrong. A decision can be not making any type of action. For example, in my business, which is trading, not doing anything is an amazing decision because you have to control your own emotions and in big state.
I see what you're saying there because one of the things that we always say is that one of the worst actions is the action of inaction.
Exactly.
And so even just making the decision to not make a decision is still a decision, and it's still, one that can be, either a make or break decision.
That is correct. That is totally correct. If you're in a low energy decision or you're uncomfortable, it's better not to make an action, but you made the decision of not making that action. You understand? So the best thing you can do is to be high energy, high peak when you make any type of decisions.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk to Alan about some of his favorites as it relates to his life as an entrepreneur.
Have you ever thought about investing in real estate, but find yourself so busy that you don't have time for it? Do you have FOMO, which is the fear of missing out? At HanfordCapital.com, we help investors with passive real estate investments that project better returns than traditional investment vehicles such as the stock market. If you'd like to find out more about our passive real estate investments, visit HanfordCapital.com. That's HANDFORD Capital.com. We will jump on a call with you to discuss your investment goals and to see if our investments are a good fit for you. This advertisement is not to be construed as an offer or recommendation to buy or sell a security. Visit HanfordCapital.com. We are back with Alan Burak, and we want you to go through what we call the trifecta, which is a series of quick questions and answers about some of the favorites that you have in business. So to start us off, talk to us about what's your most favorite technology that you use in business every day that helps to make your life easier.
I'm an old school guy. My biggest technology is a small notepad. Basically, I have a small notepad with me. And literally, I write everything from good ideas, bad ideas, from everything that comes to my mind, I write it down. And every morning, I see those ideas and I see if those ideas can work on me or not.
So do you just not enjoy the technology, or do you not find it as useful? Or is that a conscious decision to use just the notepad, or is that just what works best for you? What are your thoughts on that?
No, it really works for me because it's for me at the moment is the easiest way for me to. Don't get me wrong, I love technology. I'm all the time in my computer. Even if you go to I have a new apartment right now in New York where everything is controlled by Alexa and by voice control and everything. But at the end of the day, I know that what works for me the best is have a blank sheet of paper and a pen, because it's the way I control my thoughts much more faster.
I understand, because there is something about putting your thoughts on paper that's just a little different from typing it or speaking it into a computer or handheld or something like that. So what is a favorite quote that you've heard that's helped you as an entrepreneur?
Wow. I have so many favorite quotes, but one that I truly love and just came to my mind is, when you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears.
And what is a book that you would recommend for our audience?
Okay. Wow. So many. But right now, I will recommend one thing that everybody should have in their mind is clarity in their goals and their purpose. And one book that can help you do that is one of my top 5 books. Actually, it's one of my top 2 favorite books. It's called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. This book really helps you to find your true purpose in life.
So what's the next thing for you right now, Alan, on your vision or your dream board?
Well, the big thing right now is I just launched my coaching business, and next year I'm publishing my first book. So it's going to be amazing.
That's pretty exciting.
Yes.
That's awesome. So how can the listeners reach out to you if they want to, follow you, look you up, kind of contact you after they listen to this episode?
Yes, definitely. You can reach me at alanburak.com, in my Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. And if your audience reach me, I can give them definitely a free PDF page with 6 easy steps to get what they want in life.
Sure, absolutely. And I'll make sure on the show notes for this episode that the links to your social media and various ways to contact you are listed there, and the listeners can go to toughdecisions.net to get that. Thank you so much, Alan, for taking some time out of your schedule to be with us today. Look forward to having you on a future episode as you continue to grow as an entrepreneur.
Thank you very much.
Hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for listening to the Tough Decisions Network. Be sure to visit toughdecisions.net to gain access to show notes for this episode and to join our free weekly entrepreneur email, where we will send you news about the latest technology for your business, inspiring quotes, and the latest books for entrepreneurs. That's toughdecisions.net.